Your fever is high and the pressure to log in at work is too. But when you finally decide to take care of you, there's Instacart. Just because that one perfect coworker of yours is attending all meetings, camera on while she's sneezing, coughing, and aching, doesn't mean you have to do the same. Take it from us. Trying to stay on top of things will only get you further behind. Instead, get everything from tissues and teas to cough suppressants and comforting soups delivered through Instacart in as fast as 30 minutes. If anyone needs anything, they can just redirect their questions to that one perfect coworker of yours.
Celebrate and save at Ashley's Anniversary Sale. With Hot Buys, your choice of colors starting at just $3.99. Ashley Sleep mattresses starting at $2.50. Plus, receive a free adjustable base with select mattress purchases. And shop top mattress brands like Stearns & Foster, Tempur-Pedic, Purple, and Beautyrest Black with 60-month special financing. Only at Ashley. Subject to credit approval. No minimum purchase required. Minimum monthly payment, down payment, tax, and delivery may be required. See store for details.
Why?
Why?
If you have T-Mobile 5G home internet, you might be hearing this
Why?
a lot.
Why?
Every time your internet slows down during the busiest hours.
Why?
Why?
Because your network gives priority to cell phone users.
Why?
Good question. Why not switch to Cox Internet with 2 times faster download speeds than T-Mobile 5G home internet during peak hours?
Okay.
Stop the whys and visit cox.com/5G home for details. T-Mobile prioritizes certain T-Mobile phone users over home internet users during times of congestion.
Stand by for an urgent bulletin.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show, starring Bob Lutz.
Who's better at this job of radio?
You shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
Jeff Lutz.
Really good to great, depending on the day.
Wow! Hey! Isn't that exciting? 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
It's showtime, baby! You'll go wacko, bananas, nuts, crazy, unbelievable.
All right, welcome back. Hour number 2, the Bob and Jeff Show, KFH Radio. 869-1240 is the phone number. Bob Lutz, Jeff Lutz, your co-host. Let's look at my bracket, which I filled out, obviously, before the tournament started. I was in the 19 millions. Now I'm in 10,548,000.
Look at you.
So I moved up 9 million. Where are you?
I don't know.
Well, look.
I don't know.
I know you're embarrassed, but go ahead.
I just don't care.
Well, yeah, you don't care because you've been awful.
No, I don't.
But
I didn't.
But had you had a great bracket,
I wouldn't have known or cared.
that's
but,
all. That's all we'd have heard about, and we all know it.
I don't think so.
But I'm willing to say I've got a pretty mediocre bracket.
I don't even know where to find this on the app. There's men's basketball. This is tough. Games. That's got to be it. There we go. I'm in the 32nd percentile. Is that good?
You're at
18.1 million and 19.2 million.
Well, that's just terrible.
Are you sure that's the right? Are you sure that's the right order?
Yeah.
Well, that's too bad.
So, of the Sweet 16 matchups, we've got UConn, San Diego State. I had UConn and Auburn being here. Auburn failed me. This is in the East. And I had Illinois and Iowa State being right where they are. So I got 3 of the 4 in the East bracket. In the West bracket, I have North Carolina. I thought they'd be playing St. Mary's in this spot. And I had Arizona. I thought they'd be playing Baylor in this spot. So just 2 of the 4 there.
Have any of your picks, would you make them differently now?
Sure.
Would you have a different Final
I
Four?
wouldn't pick James Madison.
No, I'm saying the games that you
Houston, Duke.
I'm asking, would you have a different Final 8 or Final 4 right now?
I don't know. I'd have to look and see what my Final 4 is.
Well, look.
Houston, Duke. I had Houston playing James Madison, which was silly. North Carolina State, Marquette. I had Marquette playing Kentucky. So I have 2 in that region. Purdue, Gonzaga. I had Purdue, Gonzaga. And finally, Creighton, Tennessee, I had Tennessee, Creighton. So there you go. I've still got quite a few teams left.
So I'm asking,
11 of the Sweet 16.
Would you pick any of the games different now than you the upcoming?
Of course I would.
No, the upcoming games, not the previous games. I'm talking about the games that have not been played yet. Would you pick them differently now than you picked them before?
I don't know what you're asking. What game in particular?
I'm asking, has your opinion changed?
Illinois, Iowa State, I'd still pick Iowa State.
Okay, so let's use that theme elsewhere. Would all your picks remain the
But
same?
I don't have all the picks still left.
Well, because I think Tennessee's going to go to the Final Four.
UConn, San Diego State. I think that'll be a heck of a game, but I'd pick UConn.
I think Tennessee, Duke, Arizona, and UConn. That's possible, right? I think that's your Final Four.
Well, that's hardly going out on any kind of a
that's
limb.
not what I picked originally, but those look like the 4 best teams right now. I think Duke's going to beat Purdue or whoever they play.
Well, I have Iowa State, North Carolina, Houston, and Tennessee in the Final Four. I'll stick with that. I don't know about Houston. I know they're going to be a tough out, and Houston-Duke will be
Duke will be
very
Houston.
good game. So I believe the winner of that game will go to the Final Four because I think either of those teams is better than either Marquette or North Carolina State. So Houston's obviously the team I'm pulling for. I picked Iowa State in the East. Most people picked UConn for obvious reasons. I mean, there's no question UConn's a favorite in that game, but I picked Iowa State for one reason. I want to watch you eat sardines.
Okay.
And you better be hopeful. And I think Illinois could beat Iowa State too. So that'll be a whale of a game. Who'd I pick out of the West?
Did you know that Jason Duda has committed to eating something off the beaten path?
Yeah, but it won't bother him as much.
Well, you get to pick it.
North Carolina has Alabama, and then the winner of Clemson, Arizona. That'll be a heck of a. We all believe that'll be North Carolina against Arizona, which could be fantastic, but we never know. And then we've got Creighton, Tennessee, and Purdue, Gonzaga. Gonzaga looked really good the other day against Kansas, but you don't know how much of that was because it was Kansas. And Purdue is really good, and Zach Edey's really fun to watch. And I know you don't care for Purdue, but
I never said
I
that.
enjoy watching them.
Can I eat radishes?
No.
I don't want, and I'm not going to be holier than thou up here. I eat meat, obviously, but I don't want to eat an animal that I don't already eat. Does that make sense? So I'd rather eat something that's awful, but not an animal.
No, you're eating sardines.
No, I don't want to.
Well, you already agreed to it.
I want to eat radishes, which I hate.
No, you're not eating radishes. Radishes don't even taste like anything.
Well, then beets. And, yeah, radishes do taste like stuff, and they're terrible.
No.
I'm not going to eat.
Not unless you agree to eat 5 of them.
Fine.
No, I'm not even doing it then.
I'm neglecting to eat an animal that isn't already in my diet.
It's just a fish for crying out loud.
I like fish.
They're nutrient-rich, small, oily fish widely consumed by humans. I don't know what you got against them.
I don't have anything against them.
Are sardines good for you?
I doubt it.
Adding sardines to a balanced diet can help improve blood vessel function, ease inflammation, and more. There you go. Not only is it going to be good tasting, but it's going to help your blood.
I don't want to eat a fish, though. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you should have thought of that before you made the bet.
Well, I did. I'm now altering the bet.
You can't, Max. I'm going to ask you to. No, I'm not even asking Max to rule. I'm ruling
because you know that I have the moral high ground here.
Here's the big fella, Anthony. Anthony, what are your thoughts? Should Jeff honor his first commitment if Iowa State gets to the Final Four of eating sardines?
I didn't say sardines.
Yeah, he should eat sardines, or I'm gonna have a partner of mine fixing some pig intestines called chitlins. Pick your poison.
Maybe.
There you go. What's up? What do you have?
Yeah, you guys are talking basketball and talking brackets, and I'm going to be the first one to tell you I didn't do no bracket. It doesn't do no good to do a bracket. It's too much NIL and too much transfer portal. I mean, if you look at this NCAA field, I mean, it does not have the same feel to it as what we're used to. I mean, when you stop and think about it, like you either had the marquee name team players and you knew who the star players were, or you had the marquee coach. Right now, about the only marquee coach really is Hurley at UConn, and you say, I guess to an extent, You can say.
Now wait a minute.
Kelvin Sampson.
Wait a minute.
Kelvin Sampson
If
at
you were
Utah.
sitting across from me and you'd said that, I'd call you nuts.
You talking about the marquee coaches of the teams that are left, or in college basketball in general?
In basketball in general, I mean, when you stop.
Well,
and-
Bill Self
I mean,
is.
Rick Barnes is a
well,
marquee coach.
Yeah, but when
Mark
you don't hear
Few's a
those
marquee
certain names-
coach.
Tom Izzo.
right, but when you don't hear those certain names attached to certain programs like your Dukes and your North
Kelvin
Carolina.
Sampson.
I did say Kelvin Sampson. I did mention his
Hubert
name.
Davis has a chance to be a marquee coach.
Right,
Um,
that's the thing.
So does
Has
what's
a
his name
chance.
with Duke?
Yeah, I guess
but
I'm
the names
just
just don't
I
the
guess I'm
names
just
just
not
don't ring
agreeing with your premise. Bruce
Well, the
Pearl's
names
a
just
marquee
don't
coach.
ring out. I mean, if you look at
Oh,
it,
yeah.
because I mean, at best, a lot of times when you look at these games, you want to find a team that you can put your hat on that you can hate, and you just don't have that. I mean, you don't have those must-see matchups like we're used to seeing, which is why I'd rather tend to. Don't y'all hold this against me. I'd rather invest more time watching the women's NCAA tournament than the men's.
Well, that's fine when you can get a competitive game. And usually in the women's tournament, it takes a few rounds or a round at least to get to the competitive games. It doesn't always take that long in the men. And by the way, the ratings, television ratings for the men, the first weekend are the highest in history. So
Well,
I don't know.
They're recovering from last year's title game when the women's outrated them. But I'm gonna let it play out and see how things turn out. My pick for
If you come on this show, Anthony, you got to be prepared to battle, right? You know that.
I know that. My pick for the Final Four though is gonna go down like this: Pencil and UConn. I don't see nobody beating them. I actually like Purdue after watching them yesterday. I did actually watch them. And the one thing I will say about Purdue, they have the big man in the middle. And he's not afraid to play with his back to the basket the way a big man should. That's a throwback to the old days. That's the type of basketball
That's pretty
I
much
like
the
to
only
see.
way he can play, though.
And there's no
Yeah, I like
I'm
Purdue.
like this. If they can't stop it, why get away from it? I mean, Kareem had this sky hook. Ladron had this drop step in the middle. Big men that played basketball the way big men. I'm not into this pretty ball. If you're 7 foot tall, you need to play bully ball, and that's why I come.
Well,
on
Zach
like
Edey's a phenomenon. There's very few players in the course of college basketball history like him. So, thank you,
And I
Anthony.
hope-
I appreciate hearing from you.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thanks.
Yeah, Purdue, what they did to Utah State was very impressive because Utah State's pretty good. And Utah State hung with them for the first 10 minutes or so, and then it was over. Purdue just went nuts. And he had 21 and 11 at halftime. I don't even know what he finished with. I doubt that he played a ton of minutes in the second half. Finished with 23 and 14.
Yeah, they
And-
didn't need
and
him.
played just a few minutes in the second
Did
half.
you hang with that Houston Texas A&M
Of course I
game?
did.
You did?
Yeah. You didn't.
I went back and rewound it.
What do you mean rewound it?
Well, I turned it away from that, and then I turned it back and rewound it to where they started the comeback.
Yeah, that's what we did this weekend. We watched a lot of basketball. The way I do it in the NCAA tournament is if I get a competitive game and it's in the second half, I'm going to watch it.
I know, but that
And
game
if-
was over.
No, it wasn't really.
They were up
It was the
12
last
with under
game.
2 minutes to go.
It was the last game, and that was a tremendous shot A&M made to send that into overtime, and an even better pass. Kind of rolled it to the guy.
I felt like it was a little bit of a lucky pass, but it ended up being
Listen, did it get to him?
got to him.
Did he make the basket?
Sure did.
There you go.
Did they win the game?
That's all you need to know. They gave themselves a chance to win the game.
How about Houston? I think that says a lot about Houston, that they were able to, with guys in foul trouble, unavailable, that they still
Well, both
managed to
teams
win that
had
game.
foul trouble. That was a ridiculously whistled game. I mean, Houston's been playing like that all year long, and they don't get whistled for fouls like that. But there are a lot of touch fouls called in that game that Houston's not used to.
Houston Duke, is that the marquee game of the Sweet 16 round? Or
Well,
is there
it's
one?
one of them. Why don't you? Why are
is
you
there one
jumping
that-
around? Why don't you let me finish the thought?
Because we're talking about the tournament.
I happen to think Houston Duke is certainly right there, a 1 versus a 4. I think Illinois Iowa State, a 2 versus a 3, is also there. I love that game. And then, we poo-poo a little bit Creighton, but they're a 3 seed facing 2 seed Tennessee. I think all of those are pretty good marquee games.
Creighton lucky to move on, but did.
Well, lucky luck. I mean,
you need some luck.
Yeah, you need luck
occasionally. There's nothing wrong with
Iowa State, Illinois is the most interesting game for me personally because I put a lot of my eggs in the Iowa State basket, and I don't regret it.
Put all your eggs in that basket.
I don't regret it.
Picked him to win the whole thing.
They're gonna make you eat sardines, and they're gonna make me look
Radishes.
good. No, Jeff.
I'm not eating another animal.
Oh God, when did this all come about?
I'd rather not eat.
You not eat meat?
That's what I just said. I eat meat, but I'd rather not add another food that I don't eat.
No, you're begging now. You're reaching.
I'll eat squash. I hate squash.
Okay, squash, radishes, and one other.
Okay.
Well, I'll think about it. Squash, radishes,
zucchini. I hate.
No, you don't hate.
Yeah, I do. I won't eat it.
We're gonna put it in a bowl, and you have to eat the entire bowl of squash.
I'll have a couple bites.
Zucchini.
There's not going to be a whole bowl.
Doodle will weigh in
not going to throw
on
up
this.
radishes for 3 weeks.
Doodle will weigh in on this.
When?
Soon.
Well, he's losing to me in our picks badly.
All right, we're going to take a break. We've got a Bob and Jeff draft coming up next. Jeff will give us a category. What is it?
I thought we were doing when's the Bailey or
That's
Bond?
the last interview.
I don't know right now off the top. I'll give it to you.
Give it now. Go ahead.
I don't know. I can't think of anything at the moment, but I will. Sports arenas.
No, I don't like that.
Then pick something.
I don't like sports arenas. That'll all be baseball stadiums.
No, arenas.
Sports, and they're all the same. What is it? What's it going to be?
Why are you putting me on the spot like this? I'll think of something during the break.
We'll be back.
Your fever is high and the pressure to log in at work is too. But when you finally decide to take care of you, there's Instacart. Just because that one perfect coworker of yours is attending all meetings, camera on while she's sneezing, coughing, and aching, doesn't mean you have to do the same. Take it from us. Trying to stay on top of things will only get you further behind. Instead, get everything from tissues and teas to cough suppressants and comforting soups delivered through Instacart in as fast as 30 minutes. If anyone needs anything, they can just redirect their questions to that one perfect coworker of yours.
Celebrate and save at Ashley's Anniversary Sale. With Hot Buys, your choice of colors starting at just $3.99. Ashley Sleep mattresses starting at $2.50. Plus, receive a free adjustable base with select mattress purchases. And shop top mattress brands like Stearns & Foster, Tempur-Pedic, Purple, and Beautyrest Black with 60-month special financing. Only at Ashley. Subject to credit approval. No minimum purchase required. Minimum monthly payment, down payment, tax, and delivery may be required. See store for details.
Why?
Why?
If you have T-Mobile 5G home internet, you might be hearing this
Why?
a lot.
Why?
Every time your internet slows down during the busiest hours.
Why?
Why?
Because your network gives priority to cell phone users.
Why?
Good question. Why not switch to Cox Internet with 2 times faster download speeds than T-Mobile 5G home internet during peak hours?
Okay.
Stop the whys and visit cox.com/5G home for details. T-Mobile prioritizes certain T-Mobile phone users over home internet users during times of congestion.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show on 97.5 and 1240 KFM.
All right, we're going to do Bob Seger songs for our Bob and Jeff draft. I'm good with that because that's one of my favorite artists. And let's go ahead and flip the coin. I'll call tails.
What is it?
It is heads, or is that tails?
That's tails.
That's tails, so I will go first.
Okay.
And you've got me thinking that the song I want to pick, boy, I'll leave you with two that are great. So I'm going to go ahead and pick what I believe to be the best Seeger song and not the most popular one. How do you like that?
Yeah, go for it.
Night Moves.
Well, duh. If that wasn't your first pick, we'd have some questions.
Well, his signature song is not that.
But that is, I don't know if I would, I know where you're going, but Night Moves is just as much, if not more, of a signature song than, I don't even know if it's number 2, because I'm going to take, with my first pick, Against the Wind.
Just because the Eagles are in it.
No, because it's
That's why I will win this.
Just because it's a great song.
It is a great song.
One of my all-time favorite songs.
It's a great song.
Has nothing to do with
But it will do nothing in this competition.
That's wrong. You ever watch Forrest Gump?
Next.
Now, there might be another song with the Eagles' involvement that I take later. But for right now, man, I don't want to take that song. I really don't. I'm going to take Roll Me Away.
Well, I believe this competition has come to a close.
Yeah, that song doesn't do anything for me, but go for it.
Full-time rock and roll. And I'm going to take it so you can't, or am I? I'm going to take, boy, he has so many iconic songs. It gets tough to pick.
It does.
I'm going to take We've Got Tonight.
Yikes. That is not where I thought you'd go with that one.
Well, it's an unbelievably good song.
It's not third round good.
Yeah. And Roll Me Away is second round good?
He starts every show with Roll Me Away. I'm going to go with Turn the Page, which is a fantastic selection. And
you want to take it, don't you?
yeah,
Sad.
I'm going to take it. Fire Lake.
Oh, now I love that song, but you're letting your heart get to you
That's
again.
as good as the Eagles have ever sounded.
I am going to take Still the Same.
Dang it. Thought I could get that one.
And with my next one, Main Street. And I think that pretty much wraps it up.
No. I got Hollywood Nights.
This is the Bob and Jeff draft. We each get 8 picks. We asked Max to give us his ruling on which 8 picks are the best, and then we put it on Twitter for the masses to decide.
And you'll accompany me. This is an unbelievable list I'm putting together.
Well, it's not as good as mine. It's a good list, of course.
Better music, if that's what you're going for.
I am picking boy, this gets so hard. I don't see how I can't pick Shame on the Moon.
That hurts. A little.
And my final pick, no, I get one more after this. Oh, I'm so happy about that. A song I absolutely adore, and it's called The Fire Down Below.
Kind of a not thinly veiled reference there. I don't know if I like that. My final 2 are going to be Ramblin' Gamblin' Man and with my 8th round and final selection, I guess I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. I really have just two
go.
selections that I'm between here. I'll go one that a lot more people know, probably, Like a Rock.
Surprised that lasted this long. And my final pick will be one of his very biggest hits from very early in his career. Am I going to pick that one, or am I going to pick that one? Or am I going to pick that one? I'm going to pick Rock and Roll Never Forgets.
Why didn't I write that down?
So, there you go, the Bob and Jeff draft. Let's give us your picks one more time, Jeff.
Well, now I got to make sure that Rock and Roll, there it is. Okay, I don't know why I didn't write it down. Against the Wind, Roll Me Away, Turn the Page, Fire Lake, Hollywood Nights, You'll Accompany Me, Ramblin' Gamblin' Man, and Like a Rock. I was
unbelievable. Good list. Just not going to beat mine.
We'll see.
Here are mine.
I bet Max picks mine.
Night Moves, Old Time Rock and Roll, We've Got Tonight, Still the Same, Main Street, Shame on the Moon, The Fire Down Below, and Rock and Roll Never Forgets.
What were you choosing
Even
between?
as you were hearing that, you went, oh, my goodness, I can't.
We've Got Tonight in the third round is going to hurt you. It's a good list. Fire Down Below is going to hurt you.
Max, come on the show and tell us what you think.
Huh? What? God, you picked the
Stop it,
slowest
Max.
Bob Seger songs in the world. You didn't even get Beautiful Loser in there or Looking Back.
I like Beautiful Loser. But listen, there's a bunch of songs
It's a
you could
tough
go with
list.
here.
Both are tough.
Which one would you pick?
I'm looking at them and seeing which one I would listen to the most.
If I had picked Kathmandu, would that have influenced you in any way?
Kathmandu.
Dang it.
Traveling Man. I love that one, too. But, you know, I picked some up-tempo songs.
It's too tough. It's too tough. It's too close to call.
You can't pick one.
No, I can't. I like them both.
Well, that's the biggest cop-out I've ever heard.
It's too hard to pick.
If I sat you down and I said, Max, if you don't pick one of these lists,
I'd pull the trigger.
You have to eat sardines. Which one would you pick?
I'd eat the sardines. It's too hard to pick. It's just
Max
too hard
would go
to pick.
sardines.
Wow.
It's just too hard
All
to
right.
pick.
Well, there you go.
He couldn't do it.
Yeah, I can't.
We'll see
It's
what
too
people on
hard, yeah.
Twitter. We'll see what people on Twitter decide. Is there a Seeger fan in our audience who wants to weigh in?
I don't know.
869-1240. Love to hear from you. Weigh in. Which list is best? Bob Seger songs.
Probably mine.
I feel like I got Night Moves and Old Time Rock and Roll. I feel like I got the
Yeah, but
two
Old Time-
songs that could be argued as his two
Old
signature
Time Rock
songs.
and Roll is.
Night Moves is signature. Everybody hates old time rock and roll. Everybody hates it.
Not everybody hates
Yeah,
it.
it was
I
good
don't
when it came
hate
out
it,
in
but I don't
76.
love it.
It's been overdone. I get it.
Yeah, they're sick of it.
If I'm going to listen to a playlist of Bob Seger songs, that's not going to be on my list of 20.
Well, but listen.
It's a fine song.
That's like people think Hotel California with the Eagles. Yeah, it's been played and played and played and overplayed and done, but it's still a popular song for the masses.
Yeah, if you
go out and you do an on the street interview with the people out there, and you ask them what's the best Eagles song, 60% are going to say Hotel California.
Okay, I'll ask you this: you go to a Bob Seger concert, he plays Night Moves, but he doesn't play Old Time Rock and Roll. Or you go to a Bob Seger concert, he plays Old Time Rock and Roll, but he doesn't play Night Moves. Which are you feeling worse about?
I want to hear them both.
But which are you feeling worse about?
I probably want to. Well, that's why I picked Night Moves number one.
Okay.
But I want to
That's
hear
his
old time
signature
rock
song.
and roll. Just take those old records off the shelf.
Okay, he plays Against the Wind, but not Old Time Rock and Roll.
I like Against the Wind.
It's a fantastic song.
I mean, there's 16 songs here that we listed that I like all of them. And
Yeah.
for you to denigrate Bob Seger
I'm not denigrating
and,
Bob
and talk
Seger.
as if you don't like some of his songs
When did I
is
say that?
absolutely ridiculous.
When did I say that?
Well, you're all but saying it.
Okay.
I don't care if he plays old time rock and roll. It's not a very good song.
I didn't say that.
Say what you mean then.
I
Quit being-
did.
Quit clouding it up.
Night Moves is a signature song.
I think if you ask 10
And
Bob
Against the
Seger
Wind is
fans,
second.
I disagree. And I wish I just had a Rolodex of, all right, here's the biggest Bob Seger fan I know.
Against the Wind being in Forrest Gump did more culturally. What was old time rock and roll in? Risky Business? Is that what he slid out to? Was it?
Yes.
Okay, well, it's pretty close.
They're the two.
But Forrest,
And I got them both.
no, we're talking
I'll tell you
Against
what.
the Wind.
I'll tell you what. Never had a movie that Against the Wind has never been in a movie.
Forrest Gump is what I was talking about.
Nobody cares about that.
Yeah, everybody cares about that.
I couldn't name the scene.
When he was running. 4/5 of the movie.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't listen. I think I got the best list. I'll put it on Twitter. Max is too scared to pick this week for some reason.
You need to talk about the winning streak I'm on now, which is at least 2.
No, you won one.
No, I won the one before that too.
No, you didn't. You've won one in a row. And that was an easy one for you to win because what was last week's?
Ice cream flavor.
Yeah. Once you got chocolate, it's over. So there's really nothing I could have done.
I don't know
Had I picked chocolate, I would have won. These two lists are more difficult to discern. This is going to be a close vote.
I agree.
I believe that I picked the best two. The two songs that people would debate are Bob Seger's signature.
I'm 2 of the last 3. Robert De Niro movies, I don't care.
What was the other one?
Sports movie characters.
No, I got that one.
No, you didn't. I crushed you.
No, I won that one. If you'll go back and look,
I had
that wasn't.
Balboa, Hobbs, Crash Davis, Willie Mays Hayes. Yeah,
But I'd won about 4 in a row before.
75 to 25%.
And I'll bet I win this one. It'll be close. Although maybe it won't.
We'll see.
Because I happen to think, I mean, goodness, we've got tonight, some would argue.
No, nobody would argue.
Yeah, they would.
Not even Overturn the Page, which was my third round.
Still the same?
It's a good song.
I mean,
you didn't go Feel Like a Number?
Main Street?
Yeah.
The Fire Down Below?
Ramblin' Gamblin'? I mean, you can yell our names of the
Max,
songs all day long.
As we get ready to take a break here, cue up The Fire Down Below.
I don't want to hear that song. The Eagles play that before every concert. I'm tired of it.
Just so people will understand how great Bob Seger was and is. I mean, my goodness.
We all know. That's why we made a list dedicated to him.
Well, good category. I'm going to tell you right now, Bob Seger, in my opinion, this is kind of strange to say, because when he was in his heyday, he was extremely popular. I mean, extremely.
You're about to say he's underrated?
Yeah, I think there's some element of that.
Maybe a little.
I think we've sort of forgotten just how unbelievably talented.
Put out a lot of hits.
You should have
No
combined
question about that.
You should have combined Bob Fire Down Below with Horizontal Bop.
Well, I love horizontal bop. Yeah, I mean, I could have done a lot of that.
Good
and I
tunes.
also love her strut.
It's all right. It's good. It's not great. It's good.
It's great.
Yeah, you win with those 3 if you had that, Bob.
Yeah, I
triplet.
blew it, but I'll win anyway. And
We shall see.
It'll be a glorious day. Welcome back, everyone. The Bob and Jeff Show on KFH Radio. Wichita State softball with a huge one coming up tomorrow night out at Wilkins Stadium against number 1 Oklahoma. We're going to talk with Bailey Urbahn here from Wichita State softball. Bailey, welcome. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
We're doing well. Thank you for asking. This is obviously something that people point toward every year is this matchup with the behemoth, the Oklahoma Sooners. They are an incredible program. They're 31-1 this season. How you feeling going into this big game tomorrow night at Wilkins Stadium?
Yeah, obviously this is one that everybody has circled on their calendar when that schedule comes out in January. So we're looking forward to trying to compete with, obviously, one of the best teams in the country. We're going to go in with that underdog mentality and try to put all three components of the game together as best as we can, that being offense, defense, and pitching. So just kind of compete to the best of our abilities and see what happens.
And you've been at Wichita State for a while. You're a red shirt senior. You know what this is all about. What is it about Oklahoma and Patty Gasso and that program that's just been so overwhelming in college softball for so long? Why are they this good?
Yeah, you have to give a lot of respect to Coach Gasso and that program for as long as I can remember. They've been a very, very good team. They're just very put together, all parts of the game. They always pitch well, and obviously their offense is a powerhouse. So you just have to respect they jump on people's mistakes every single game. If you leave the ball over the plate, they're going to hit it out. And their defense is incredible. They just have a great culture there, and you can do nothing but respect the work that they've done and the type of program they've built. So,
Bailey Urban, our guest from Wichita State softball, Oklahoma, in town tomorrow night to face the Shockers. And you were talking about their pitching, and that's where I really notice a big difference. They have 6 pitchers. They are all outstanding. They've held opponents to a 185 batting average through 32 games this season. You guys are an offensive team. You like to hit. This is a very good Shocker offensive team. How do you approach their pitching staff?
Yeah, so obviously we won't really know who's going to throw against us specifically. So today at practice, we will try to watch all of them, I'm sure, and we'll try to prep as best as we can for who we think it's going to be. We can take our best guess, but we really won't know until that first pitch happens. So we'll look at film and try to figure out tendencies that each one has and the best way that we can jump on those and try to jump on their mistakes and give ourselves the best opportunity to be successful against them.
Talking with Bailey Urban from Wichita State. She's batting .299, 4 homers, 22 RBIs, so off to a very good start. The team went through a little rough patch earlier in the season, losing 6 of 7 and 7 of 9 against some very good teams. You're now on a 6-game winning streak, and in those 6 games, your pitchers have allowed only 9 runs. So that's encouraging.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think every season everybody has a little rough patch, and it's just how can we figure out what's our weaknesses and how can we overcome those as quickly as possible. And I think the pitchers worked very hard when they did realize things weren't going their way and trying to figure out how to build each other's confidence back up and kind of work together as a staff. And I think they've done a very good job so far in the last 2 weeks, obviously.
So I want to get into you're from Omaha, and you're a redshirt senior, as I said. What prompted you, what enticed you, first of all, to come to Wichita State and play for Christy Breadbinner? What was that like? What was your recruiting process like?
Yeah, so Coach B reached out to me to do the whole call over the phone and then come to camps and visit. And I just really liked they were starting to be very successful then when I was getting recruited. And I knew I always wanted to play Division I softball at a team that had the best chance to make it to a postseason and have the most success as a program as possible. And they were trending in that direction when I was getting recruited. And so that was very big to me. And then once I came on my visit and started talking with all the coaches, it just felt like a very strong, positive culture and like it could be a home for me. And that was something that was really important too. It felt like they cared how well I was going to be able to hit and play defense and whatnot, but also how I would grow as a person and how I could get my school done and get to where I eventually want to be in the future. So that drew me in right away.
And your academics have been outstanding. I noticed you had a 4.0 in your fall semester. Have you Have you now finished your undergraduate work?
Yeah, so I actually just graduated with my master's in December. I got the opportunity in high school to get my associate's degree when I graduated high school, so that kind of pushed me way ahead. So I got my undergrad in 3 years, and then with my fourth year, and then obviously with this fifth year, I was able to finish my master's degree in 3 semesters. So, yeah, that's all done.
Wow. So what inspired, and I'm curious about this because I have a youth baseball organization in town that I'm with, and it's called League 42, and we're obviously talking to kids a lot about the importance of education. When did that when was that first made important to you? I'm sure your parents stressed that from a very early age, right?
Yes, for as long as I can remember in school, I put everything I had into it. Getting a 4.0 every semester has been something that I've strived for really my whole life. And I think that does start from my parents and that kind of guidance that they gave me to just, if I'm going to do something, do it to the best of my ability every single time. Otherwise, why do it, you know? So, yeah, as long as I can remember, that's been a very important part of my life.
Well, you're to be commended for that. Bailey Urban, our guest from Wichita State softball. So we thought, and it still applies, obviously, Sydney McKinney is one of the greatest softball players in college history. But here comes this girl named CeCe Wong, and she's hitting 500 through 26 games. She has maybe a little more power than Sydney with 10 home runs, a .942 slugging percentage, which is crazy. So tell me about CeCe Wong, and how is it that 2 years in a row Wichita State ends up with somebody who's not only flirting with 500, but hitting 500? How good a player is CeCe Wong?
Yeah, people compare her a lot to Sid in the batting average sense, obviously, because not very many people can hit 500, but she's just such a great addition. We all feel so lucky to have her. We knew from the fall that she was going to make a big impact in our fall games. We put her in the leadoff spot, and I think she got on like 8 times in a row or something like that. So that turned all of our heads initially, like, this girl can really make a big impact for us, and she's done just that. Whether that's getting a 4-pitch walk or that's getting a little single through the right side or hitting the ball over 3 times in a game. Just each one of her at-bats are incredible, and she has such great hand-eye coordination, pitch selection, all that, and that shows for sure.
I mentioned earlier Oklahoma 31-1. They did lose a game to Louisiana in extra innings back on March 3rd. They lost that game 7-5. Louisiana is a team that's 21-13, so not a team that has an eye-popping one-loss record. But we know that Oklahoma is such a mountain to climb. How do you guys approach this game mentally? Is it a game you talk about? I don't know. Is it a game you talk about trying to win, trying to compete in? How do you go about preparing for a team like Oklahoma?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're going to put our best foot forward every single time we go out on the field, and we're going to compete to the best of our ability. And obviously that comes with wanting to win every single game. So we just mentally, we understand that to beat a team as good as Oklahoma, you have to minimize mistakes maybe down to 0. You can't give them any extra outs. You can't throw the ball right over the plate, let strikes over the plate go as a hitter. You just have to play your best softball to be able to beat a powerhouse team like that. So mentally, we know that. And today at practice, we're gonna scout, and we're gonna figure out what's our best way to win, and we're gonna do all we can tomorrow to try to pull that out.
And it takes a complete mental effort for 7 innings, and that sounds easy, but we all know that's not the easiest thing to do. So you've got to be engaged in every pitch and every swing, in everything that happens in that particular game against a team like that, right?
Right, yeah. And I think that comes with preparation. Knowing what we've done all season has kind of guided us to be the best we can be tomorrow. I don't think you have to make sure it doesn't overwhelm you that, oh, I have to do this and this and this today. know it's important to remember everything we've done since August has helped us prepare and be ready to go physically and mentally for a game as big as the OU game.
Well, Wichita State has established itself as a premier college softball program. Bailey Urbahn has been our guest. She's a prime reason that that's happened. The Shockers face Oklahoma tomorrow night, 6 o'clock at Wilkins Stadium. Bailey, thanks very much for being on the show. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Celebrate and save at Ashley's Anniversary Sale. With Hot Buys, your choice of colors starting at just $3.99. Ashley Sleep mattresses starting at $2.50. Plus, receive a free adjustable base with select mattress purchases. And shop top mattress brands like Stearns & Foster, Tempur-Pedic, Purple, and Beautyrest Black with 60-month special financing. Only at Ashley. Subject to credit approval. No minimum purchase required. Minimum monthly payment, down payment, tax, and delivery may be required. See store for details.
Why?
Why? If you have T-Mobile 5G home internet, you might be hearing this
Why?
a lot.
Why?
Every time your internet slows down during the busiest hours.
Why?
Why?
Because your network gives priority to cell phone users.
Why?
Good question. Why not switch to Cox Internet with 2 times faster download speeds than T-Mobile 5G home internet during peak hours?
Okay.
Stop the whys and visit cox.com/5G home for details. T-Mobile prioritizes certain T-Mobile phone users over home internet users during times of congestion.
We all agree that reducing carbon emissions is a good thing. And once again, Toyota is leading the way. We hear a lot about fully electric vehicles, and Toyota has them with more on the way. But we also know a BEV is not for everyone, whether it's because of cost, range, or concern about finding a charging station when you need it. Plus, the raw materials used to manufacture batteries are limited. Enter Beyond Zero, Toyota's vision for a carbon-neutral future. In vehicles and in manufacturing plants, too, in the years ahead. The materials used to make just one long-range battery for an EV could be used to make batteries for 6 plug-in hybrids or 90 gas-electric hybrids. That's why Toyota's position today is electrified, diversified, empowering you to choose how to reduce your own carbon footprint with the vehicle that's right for you. A hybrid, plug-in hybrid, or battery EV. So shop, learn more, and get details at toyota.com/beyondzero. Toyota, let's go places.